problems in a hot seat format. How many of you guys have been through hot seats before? I want you to feel comfortable getting your butt warm on the hot seat, okay? Because we all have problems, but the good news is you have a community that's going to help you solve those problems. So I just wanted you to warm up your idea of getting help today and being vulnerable. Can you guys be vulnerable? Especially you guys. Women are more vulnerable than guys anyways. We all have problems. We all need grace. We all need help. And today we want to help you in a more one-on-one format in just a little while. But before that, you're going to have an amazing time with Nathan from Eckerd Enterprises. I'm telling you what, if you want to invest completely passively, Chuck, you and I have talked a lot about investing passively one day because it's so easy. Like I think Anna and others have said, it comes back to the operator. I can tell you, I have a lot of friends who invest with Eckerd. I don't personally invest with them yet. But the operator is key, and everybody that I know that's investing with them tells me the operator is Eckerd Enterprises in Troy is very high integrity and great folks. So in a loud Dealmaker format, stand up and give a loud round of applause for Nathan.
Hey, thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. How are all y'all doing today? Wait, Jim, do you have the clicker?
Yes, we will get it. Allie, do you know where it is?
Anyways, we can start. My name is Nathan Raborn. I'm a senior wealth manager for Eckerd Enterprises. And today we'll talk a little bit about oil and gas mineral rights and how that is a great asset that can help you with traditional real estate or provide a great exit for you if you've been a successful real estate. Anyone who's ready to, thank you very much. Anyone who's ready to exit and get into something a little bit more passive. First things first, though, we'll address the elephant in the room. And that's my accent. I'm from Tennessee, born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's not many people who can understand me. But luckily, I have my buddy here, Mike McConney, who's a senior wealth manager as well. And he'll be willing to translate everything I say after the meeting. Anyways, before we really get into mineral rights, we'll talk a little bit about Eckerd, who we are, and then dive into mineral rights. I worked for ExxonMobil for the last 15 years. I worked in the chemical plant and refineries in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and specifically the finishing units that most people don't get to see. As I worked there, I got to see everything from the insulation from electrical wires, adhesives on babies' diapers, isopropyl alcohol, rubbers, food-grade plastics, and anything that you could imagine that you wouldn't think comes from oil and gas. It absolutely comes from oil and gas. But like many of you here today at Deal Makers, to learn and grow and build your real estate portfolio, I wanted a little bit more for myself. Probably like a lot of y'all, started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, realized that there was something else to life, and real estate was the way to go about it. Now through that, I started building a real estate portfolio. I bought short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, long-term rentals. I managed them myself. I had cold callers working for me. I was cold calling, trying to buy any deal that I could, and was lucky to be successful enough to leave Exxon after about 5 years of doing so. But 4 years prior to that, I met this fellow right here who's Troy Eckerd. He's the chairman of the board of Eckerd Enterprises. I met him at a mastermind where I also met Wendy Sweet about 4 years ago. And he really took me under his wing. He started to mentor me. He would help me run real estate deals. And we became really close over the next 4 years as he helped me become successful at real estate. And then after I left Exxon, he said, hey, what would you think about coming on with Eckerd? And it was an absolute yes, just because of how I knew him and what he had done. Now, Troy founded Eckerd Enterprises in 1985. He's been in the business for almost 4 decades. He's done everything from saltwater disposal wells, tanks, drilling, wells, 3D seismic, minerals, anything that you could imagine in the oil and gas space, he's done it. And if you want somebody navigating your ship, you definitely want someone who's sailed the 7 seas and been through the worst storms. Troy Eckerd has absolutely done that and built a team that has been very successful at buying oil and gas mineral rights and working interests. Now, he founded Eckerd Enterprises in 1985. A little bit about Eckerd Enterprises. We're in 7 different shale basins. We've had over 1,000 wells drilled. We have ownership interests in all of our projects, and we own the 2nd largest gas pipeline in the Gulf of Mexico. We're also a family-owned and operated oil and gas business who focus on tangible assets, which is direct ownership of oil and gas mineral rights, direct ownership of working interests, midstream. But we also do 4 really distinct things that I think are very important for any investor. We do several due diligence trips a year where we go out to Oklahoma. You meet everyone from, Troy Eckerd all the way to the wealth managers, the events groups. We learn about oil and gas. We go look at our wells. We go look at where your mineral rights are, and we have a great time. Next, we have a partner conference where we might have 300-400 partners all together in the same room. We're meeting and mingling. We're building relationships. We're learning a lot. We'll have real estate speakers there. We've had Mark Mills, Steve Forbes. We have some great speakers that are going to talk about the economy as well as oil and gas and real estate as well. We travel across the world speaking to events like this and little groups of our partners to bring education in oil and gas. And then we also have a state-of-the-art app that's going to show you everything that has to do with your investment, all the way down to where the last penny comes out of the wellhead. You can trace it all back. It's just very special. You can see all your updates, etc. But regardless of what you're doing as an investor, whether that's real estate, oil and gas, mixture of both, you want to buy off fundamentals. You want to make sure you're underwriting. You want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. But you can't build a fortress with one brick. Now, for some people, every brick might be something in oil and gas. For others, it might be just traditional type real estate. For a lot of you, it can be a combination of both, where oil and gas can really help. Like I had mentioned before, if you are a landlord, buying mineral rights because it's income that you can count on every month is a great way to be able to help take over some of the stresses of the day-to-day expenses that come from your rental properties, or providing a 1031 exchange for a successful real estate investor to exit out. There's 4 pillars of energy. Eckerd Enterprises provides all 4 of these. We're going to focus on mineral rights ownership today, but there's leasehold interest, working interest, which is what most of you think of when it comes to oil and gas, and that's the direct participation in drilling an oil and gas well, and midstream assets, which is your pipelines. Now, here at Mineral Rights, all of you being real estate investors surely know about mineral rights. You're checking the box every time you look and buying a property if the mineral rights are going to convey, but it's the legal rights of an individual to exploit, mine, and or produce subsurface minerals beneath a property. Now, most mineral owners can't afford to drill a well, or they don't know how to. So what happens is these operators like ExxonMobil, I'll use ExxonMobil through this presentation because I used to work for them, will come through. They find these very large Grand Canyon-like basins that are underneath the earth, and they'll lease the mineral rights from the owner. Now, depending on how good of a negotiator you are, you're going to end up somewhere between 12 and 21% royalty interest. And you're going to get paid on every molecule of oil and gas that comes out of the ground. So just like in this picture right here, you have your air rights, surface rights, and everything under the ground is going to be your mineral rights, and you own them all the way to the center of the earth. Here's another picture just showing, a multifamily property or a commercial building, whatever you want to call it, showing the formations under the earth. It's going to have a little comparison showing the goods and the okays with each. I'm not going to get into it, especially because all of you being real estate investors know what the ups and downs of being an owner in real estate can be. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to kind of talk about where they're similar and where they're different. So first things first, it is real property. Mineral rights is deeded and titled. You own it just like you own your house. But this is where the key differences come from. One, you have zero expenses and zero liability. You take upon no risk. You don't have any costs associated with drilling a well. You don't have any liability if something were to happen on that well. You also own all of the oil and gas reserves. That means you own from underneath your house all the way to the center of the earth, all formations. You, as the mineral owner, get to take a part in all of that upside. You also get monthly income, but the most important part for me as a real estate investor myself is you get paid first. Now, I've sold all of my real estate except for one long-term rental, and this is one of the major reasons here. I got tired of dealing with tenants. I got tired of not getting paid or getting paid partial. Mineral rights, you get paid first. You get paid up front no matter what. You are the landlord. ExxonMobil is your tenant. They have plenty of money. They pay on time, every time, and they can't encumber your income in any way. The worst thing that can happen for a mineral owner, believe it or not, is you're going to get a distribution every month. For the rest of your life, you're going to get a distribution. Here's a little timeline, and this is just going to show, this is going to be 3 slides. I'm not going to make you guess where this is at. This is in 1982 in Dallas-Fort Worth area. This over here on the right is, by the way, I'm dyslexic, so my lefts and my rights are going to be mixed up. So I don't know which one it is for you, but the one with the green squares, that's going to be where Eckerd Enterprises and our partners, we own mineral rights. Those are sections of land. If you can see the little black dots, black lines, those are oil and gas wells in 2010. This is going to really, I want to put in your mind, what would you do back then, what you knew now? Would you have made that investment? Would you have bought that corner lot? Would you have bought that multifamily? What would you have done back then? You have to be a contrarian when you're investing in real estate, mineral rights, whatever it is. You have to see the vision forward to be successful at whatever you're investing in. So you can see here in 1982 and 2010, wow, look at Dallas-Fort Worth. You can see the Anadarko Basin starting to fill in. There's a big blob right there in the middle. That's what we call the Devon Blob, where they have really, really extensively started drilling wells in that area. And then now in 2024, here's Dallas-Fort Worth, and then, of course, the Anadarko Basin over here on the side. You can see where Eckerd has bought, Eckerd and our partners has bought mineral rights, and how we're seeing all these wells coming online today. Now, as mineral owners, buying in the right place is the most important thing, and Anadarko Basin is really where we concentrate on. Now, we buy in the Permian Basin as well. Oklahoma checks a lot of our boxes, and one of those major boxes is forced pooling. Now, back in the day, maybe a lot of you had heard that people were getting cut out of oil and gas deals, and there was, they weren't paying people right. Well, in Oklahoma, that's not the case due to forced pooling. So it doesn't matter if you own 10 acres on the east side of the section of land. Oklahoma is split up into sections of land, 640 acres by 640 acres. If you own 10 acres on the east side and they drill a well on the west side, it doesn't matter. You get paid regardless, proportionate to what amount of acreage that you own in that section of land. That makes it really great for Eckerd because we don't have to be underneath the oil and gas well. We just have to be in the section of land where there's oil and gas and the operator is drilling. And this fellow right here, George P. Mitchell, is the founder. He really started the revolution of horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracking. A lot of you 30 years ago probably remember that everyone was freaking out that we were going to run out of oil and gas. Oh my gosh, the United States doesn't have any more oil and gas. Folks, that wasn't the case. The case was we didn't know how to extract it. And that's where George P. Mitchell comes in. He started to pioneer hydraulic fracking and horizontal drilling in the late 80s, and it didn't really become popular or valuable enough until the early 2000s, where that really changed and gave us an oil revolution here in the United States. We became a superpower after that. It opened up a ton of basins for us to be able to extract oil and gas out of, and it has really made mineral owners, just like us, very wealthy because of this fella right here. Now, this is going to show you what an old conventional reservoir is. That's the one that goes straight down. My buddy Mike told me last night, he had a great analogy for this. And it's like an old slushie. When you guys are drinking a slushie, you you put your straw down, you drink a little bit, and then you got to move the hole over, and you got to keep doing it to get as much slushy as you can. That's exactly what they did 30 years ago. They were just drilling wells all over the place, hoping that they hit oil and gas, until horizontal drilling and hydraulic fracking came about, where now they drill down, turn 90 degrees, and go 2 miles, and now 3 miles underneath the earth. They frack it with hydraulic pressure, pump it full of sand, and that's how your oil and gas comes out. With the technology today, though, it's completely different as it was back then. We have geologists that are literally sitting at dinner with their families, watching the drill bit in formation, figuring out if they need to go up, down, left, or right. So technology has changed oil and gas, and it's continuing to change oil and gas every day. But when it comes to oil and gas mineral rights, the key to maximum value is activation. Now, this is my favorite slide in this whole presentation. And the reason for this is because it shows a lot of things. This shows the formations under the ground, which is like a layer of a cake. I want a lot of you to think about when you go to a nice steak restaurant. You sit there and you've eaten that nice steak or whatever it is, and you look over and you see that 7-layer carrot cake, and you think, oh my gosh, I need to get some of that, all right? And you know you can't eat that whole carrot cake because it's about this tall and about that big, but you think, I'm going to go get a bite of that carrot cake and I'm going to bring it home and I'm going to eat it over the next couple days unless my wife steals it from me. All right, so that's what the oil and gas operators want to do as well. What they'll do is they'll come lease this property up. They're going to take a bite of it. They'll drill one well, and then they come back over subsequent years and they drill more and more and more and more wells. Every formation has its own amount of oil and gas reserves in it, and as they come back and continue to drill more wells, that equals more value for me and my minerals. The other thing to it is there's 3 words that most people know that I'm going to say right here. That is music to a mineral owner's ears. That is drill, baby, drill. The more wells that I have on my property, like I mentioned before, equals more revenue. A lot of people say, well, Nathan, Trump likes oil and gas, but he also wants cheap commodity prices. That's true, and I don't care. Just like you would much rather have 5 rental properties producing $1,000 a month instead of one producing $2,000 a month, I would much rather have 5 wells at $50 a barrel than 1 well at $98 a barrel that's going to make me feel good inside. So the good thing for all of us is they're going to drill a bunch of wells. We're going to have a ton of upside potential because even today with the technology, they're finding more formations. Just in the Permian Basin, about 20 months ago, they have 2 formations very deep called the Barnett Shale and the Woodford. Now, Barnett Shale and the Woodford was known to be dry gas, and they had no value to it at all just 20 months ago until they drilled 2 test wells, one in the Woodford, one in the Barnett Shale, and guess what? It was filled with oil and gas. So if any of you here are invested with Eckerd and you're in the rock and the core portfolio, I don't know if there's any in here, you should be very happy because Pioneer, who's owned by Exxon, has came in and they've drilled 112 new wells in those portfolios that wasn't even added any value to these mineral packages when we bought it. So you can see the growth and the value that you can have with minerals over time. Oh, I didn't know it did that. I'm sorry. All right, so the Anadarko Basin and the Permian Basin, that's where we focus. Look, there's a bunch of shale basins across the United States. We buy in those 2 areas for a couple of reasons. One, multiple formations. We want the carrot cake. We want the arbitrage, right? Same thing with the Permian Basin. The other thing is we want to be in oil and gas friendly states. We're not buying in California. We're not buying in Colorado. We're not buying in Pennsylvania. Just like a landlord would hate to go buy rental properties in a non-landlord friendly state. You want to stay out of that, right? We want to stick to what we know. This is where we buy. We've made a name for ourselves there. We're very, very successful there, and we're going to continue to buy in those areas as long as we can. But when you're buying mineral rights, you have to do your underwriting. You need to do your due diligence. And there's several things that we do as Eckerd to make sure that we are successful. Now, I'll hit the couple that we've already talked about. Pro oil and gas states, we don't need to talk anything more about that. Mineral rights that have more than one formation, that's the carrot cake. We won't talk any more about that. But the other three that we want to talk about is we don't want to lose a penny of investors' dollars. Now, that's kind of funny because, of course, everybody says that. But Eckerd does something different than most. We put our money where our mouth is. We buy all of our mineral rights upfront, outright cash. We own them before we offer them to any of our partners. Now, what Eckerd does, we want to be diversified throughout the basins as much as we can, just like we want all of our partners to be. So we hold about 10 to 15% of every package back. We offer the rest out to our partners. And what that does is the accumulation of all of our capital together, we can really buy great minerals at a great price that we would never be able to buy on our own. We also acquire cash flow, which is proven producing minerals. The way that I want you to think about this is when we buy a mineral package, it's going to have a couple things. It's going to have vintage wells producing cash flow today from day one, but then it's going to have upside, which are DUCs. Those are drilled uncompleted wells that are coming online. So to turn it into terms for real estate, think of you having a multifamily property that's 50% occupied. You have cash flowing 50 units. You're happy with it. I'm great. I don't have any debt. I don't have any liabilities, but I'm rehabbing the other 50 units. I know, since I've done the research, I know that with the rehab, when those units come online, I'm going to get another tenant in there. With my revenue's going to go up, meaning my value is going to go up. It's the same thing with mineral rights. In those packages, those DUCs, those are like my rehab properties. When they come online, I'm going to earn more revenue. In turn, it's going to make my minerals more value. Now, we only buy minerals under best-in-class operator. They have the best technology to drill the best wells. They have the best technology to find the best places to drill the best wells, and they have plenty of money to drill many, many, many wells on our minerals. And then last but not least, we seek to acquire minerals that produce 10% cash on cash annualized over 5 years. Every package is going to be different with Eckerd, but I buy conservatively based off of what Eckerd buys because I buy minerals myself. So I buy every package that I'm able to, as many as I can. Now with Eckerd, over 90 portfolios, our average cash on cash return is 12%. This isn't an IOU, this isn't a promissory note, this is cash on cash return that's in your pocket every month. But when you're investing, no matter what, you want to look at your deal, you want to understand what you're investing in. You would never go get into a multifamily syndication if you didn't know what you were investing in, didn't see the underwriting or whatever the case may be. It's the same thing with mineral rights. You want to know what package you're getting into, and what we do is we have what we call a map book. Now, the map book's going to have cash flow models. It's going to show you the operators, the locations, the sections of land. It's going to show you how many wells and permits. It's going to show you if it's more oil, if it's more gas. It's going to show you the location, the verified acreage, the township, the ranges. It's going to show you all the wells, their status, whether they're DUC producing or permits. And it's going to have everything that you need to make an informed decision when it comes to investing in oil and gas mineral rights and what package that you want to be in. Now, what a lot of people want to look at when they're investing, whether it's real estate or oil and gas, is future value. The Anadarko Basin is in the very, very early stages of being developed. So as it stands now, this is quoted from an oil and gas reporter, about 20% of the Anadarko stack sweet spots locations have been drilled and developed. We can easily envision seeing an additional 4,000 to 5,000 wells being drilled across the Anadarko Basin, just in the stack area itself. Now, as far as unconventional reservoirs in the greater Anadarko Basin, they hold an estimated 16 billion barrels of oil and over 200 trillion feet of natural gas in unrisked, technically recoverable resources. That's changing day by day. Just like I told you that we're finding new formations in the Permian Basin, every day they're finding more reservoirs. They're being able to technically recover more resources. Over the years, especially the years to come with technology and AI, is going to really, really help us ramp up drilling oil and gas. Now, you can invest in multiple different ways, pretty much every way you can imagine. Individual, LLC, trust. If you invest individual, you get a 15% tax depletion, which is great. If you're doing a retirement account, one powerful thing we have there is a Roth conversion, where we're seeing a value decrease of about 50 to 60% when you transfer from a traditional to a Roth. That's because they only go off of the vintage wells. And then probably the biggest and most important, especially for real estate investors, is a 1031 exchange. It is real estate. It is like kind. You can absolutely 1031 exchange out of your multifamily, your single family rentals into cash flowing oil and gas mineral rights. Now, this is the last slide, so I hope I didn't bore you too much. But when we started in 2020, we started with about 2,000 net mineral acres. We're at over 58,000 now. This is off because we bought mineral rights since this came out right in January. We've also sent out around $156 million of revenue out the door to all of our partners. We're going to continue to grow as we're drilling wells, buying mineral rights, and buying them in the correct place very successfully. So I'll just leave you with this. Oil and gas mineral rights isn't going to check everyone's box. There's several hundred people in here, and there's probably only going to be 10 or 20 of you that are going to be a contrarian and look into investing oil and gas. That's fine. It doesn't matter to Eckerd. What we want to do is educate you, but I want to leave you with one thing. All of you right here today, what you're wearing, what you're sitting on, what you're driving here in or flying here in, all comes from oil and gas. So if I'm going to be a consumer of something, I'm surely going to be on the investing side and make money off of it there. I appreciate it. My name's Nathan Raborn. Thank you for your time.
All right, great job, Nathan. How was it?
It was great.
It was good? Your
Yeah.
first time speaking at Dealmaker. It's warm, right? It's a great crew.
I loved it.
It's your tribe. Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to transition in just a second. Oh, there's Wendy. Wendy, I didn't know you were in the room. Good. To masterminds. Who's got something that's been over the last 2 days, it can be any of the sessions, that you think will make an impact on the rest of your year that you wouldn't mind sharing? Raise your hand. Who'd like to go? Anything. Oh, here we go. Thank you. And is the chair ready? Oh, here we go. Go ahead, tell everyone your name and everything.
My name is Sri. I'm from Northern Virginia. We buy mortgage note, distressed mortgage notes. We are seeing a lot of notes on commercial properties. One of the reasons for here was listen to Tom speak about what they do in the commercial space. We get multifamily